More relief is on the way. A one-time direct deposit worth as much as $250 are set to go out to millions of Americans, and thanks to a bill that was approved today. This legislation will also help cut poverty rates. The Biden administration has proposed a brand new rule that helps students with crippling debt. And more relief has been approved on a state level. Democrats reached a deal on a $3 billion plan to send one-time tax rebate checks of $260 to 2.5 million Minnesota residents. It creates a new tax credit that they hope will slash childhood poverty rates and exempt many seniors from taxes on their Social Security income. Local governments will see a boost in aid to keep property taxes down and help cover the public safety cost. Not everyone will see a tax cut under the bill, and some corporations and wealthier Minnesota residents will pay more. The deal presented late Wednesday night comes after months of negotiations among Democrats on how much to cut taxes and who should benefit the most. With a historic $17.5 billion budget at the proposal, the Republicans have been critical of the plan and also pushing for more of the surplus to be devoted to tax cuts. The final agreement on the one-time tax rebate is smaller than $1,000 for individuals and $2,000 for married couples. But under this finalized deal, Minnesota people who make up to $75,000 a year can get a one-time refundable tax credit, and people will get a lot of money and help from this department. Other credits that could result in lowering your tax burden or even a large refund include the Earned Income the Tax Credit and the Child Independent Care Credit. The latter was made refundable in 2021, meaning up to $8,000 could get reimbursed on expenses for daycare and such, which show up on tax refunds. However, households that welcome the new family member could also be eligible for $1,400 for the third economic stimulus check. We have a lot of good news about the fourth stimulus payment that I want you to know, so continue watching the video. President Biden is now meeting with Democrats and Republicans to finally reach an agreement on the next package. Americans are urging President Biden to sign a new executive order that would allocate billions of dollars towards a fourth round of payments. So, we have some good news. President Biden's administration is actually going to renew its push with lawmakers to secure crisis funding this week. That's according to a White House official that told CNN that following inaction from the Senate on a $10 billion funding package, it is likely a deal will be reached very soon. The White House official has said as Congress turns back to work, the Biden administration will be focused on working with lawmakers to secure funds to keep aid flowing and continue protecting the American people from the crisis. The Biden administration has been sounding the alarm for weeks that additional funding is needed to continue the federal crisis, even as it seeks return to normal. The Biden administration also requested $22.5 billion in supplemental crisis relief funding in a massive government funding package, but it was removed from the bill. It included funding for the crisis, testing, and treatments. Negotiators were able to reach an agreement on a scaled-back $10 billion package, but Congress left Washington earlier this month without passing a bipartisan bill amid a disagreement over some policies. The inaction before the break marked the second time a deal on a crisis relief package has been scuttled over in just over a month. In March, a $15.6 billion package has been negotiated on by the House Representatives and Senate leaders, but it collapsed because people couldn't agree on how to pay for it. And one of the major promises made by President Biden's election campaign was landmarked the decision to cancel student debt. Over a year into the presidency, and nothing has happened of that sort. It has been proven to be a major stumbling block for the Democrats as they approach the midterm elections in November. After canceling much of the crisis-era spending plans, voters who are not inspired to vote for the Democrats and a large-scale defeat is extended.
Rural America, inner city America, suburban America, throughout every single school district in America. That's part of the whole legislation we passed in terms of infrastructure. It's starting now, it's going to create millions of jobs as well, for real. But again, we got to get in the 21st century. We got to move.
Alone. This would mean that the automatic stabilizers are going to be tied back to the state of the economy. With Joe Biden's administration, he's hopeful that the measure will be included in the final draft of the bill. Automatic stimulus checks are definitely going to be helpful to many people. As the country fights poverty and unemployment rate rises, more payments will be sent out. Automatic stabilizers are often tied to unemployment rates, and many lawmakers are pushing for plans that would issue broad or targeted payments based on the state of unemployment. So when unemployment is high, as it was in March 2020, payments will be sent out to a broad group of people. As it drops, payments will become more concentrated on lower class and working class communities, who are adversely affected by the crisis. As relief measures go, stimulus checks and unemployment insurance are not cheap fixes that would help the economic problems plaguing America right now. Folks, in addition to that, The 3 round stimulus checks alone cost more than $580 billion. Of course, Republicans have voiced opposition to this. The White House has backed automatic stabilizers for unemployment insurance, and Kamala Harris supported recurring payments. A change.org petition that was started last year calls for $2,000 payments, and that has gathered more than 3 million signatures. And now lawmakers have proposed a number of other points that could be put in place for the new stimulus check, including a new minimum wage, renewing federal tax on employment, and making the child tax credit raise permanent. At least 21 Senate Democrats are on board with this, but as of right now, it is clear that when automatic stabilizers could become law, it would definitely help a lot. They're most likely a pathway to passage of more budget reconciliations. Without reconciliation, Democrats will need to support at least 10 Republicans, and it's unclear that they sign into the concept of automatic direct payments. Thank you again for your support, everybody. If you have any questions on this, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best in answering them.
Apologize to everybody out there. Usually we do these things very, very smoothly. Tonight we did not. We got some technical issues. So I'm not going to give you the long speech. I want you to hear from the workers themselves. Bottom line is you have some very courageous people out there who are in Colorado who are standing up to a very powerful corporation, the Kroger supermarket, the largest supermarket chain in the country, owned by incredibly wealthy people. And these folks have gone out on a 10-day strike, and I want Kim Cordova to explain why they went out and what this strike is about. So Kim, say it again. A profitable corporation. How much does the CEO earn at this corporation? Do you remember?
It's millions of dollars. In fact, when they cut our hazard pay, he got a 21% or $21 million wage increase.
And within Kroger stores, they have pantries where employees are getting food contributed by other employees. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Place and actually work and actually make a difference and bring the company back to the table to listen to our concerns. It was just a wonderful experience. I hope that this, encourages more places to unionize when they see what the power of a union can do when you do stand together and fight for your rights. I think there's a tremendous resurgence of that in our country, and I think we need more of it.
We're going to hear from shortly. And here at the White House with Jennifer Granholm, our former governor and energy secretary, Gina McCarthy, the National Climate Advisor, and Kathleen Hicks, the Deputy Secretary of Defense. And we're here to make an announcement that sounds a little complex on the surface, but really it's about something quite simple.
So, Democratic lawmakers in the Senate, including Chuck Schumer, have finally come up with a new plan to gain support from Senate Democrat Manchin on President Biden's bills. And it has been confirmed that a payment of $1,800